My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for High Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at High Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. High Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
The running of the Porsche GT3 Challenge Jim Richards Endurance Trophy this weekend, finishing off with the winner in Jordan Love. Congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thank you. No, it was a great race. Definitely a long one out there. Got quite warm, but yeah, no, super happy to come away with the win.
What does it mean to win a trophy like the Jim Richards Endurance Trophy? It's just another trophy on the shelf, but it's a pretty important one.
No, very important one. You know, I think it's something we were really striving for this year, and yeah, no, super happy to come away with that. And now it's sort of, you know, get down, head down, be focused for the big one now. So yeah, no, really looking forward to it.
First year in the GT3 Cup Challenge. How have you enjoyed it? I mean, you're winning races, so that obviously helps.
Yeah, no, it's been wicked, and I think, you know, to come away with the win so far, it's just to top it off, really. It's been a wicked year, and yeah, I'm super happy with it.
Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge cars making their way onto the grid. Welcome, Richard Crail. We had a great run last night with Jim Richards, and we're going to do it all again now for a couple of sprint races.
Yeah, terrific win for Jordan Love, the young West Australian for Sonic Motor Racing, a lights to flag victory, almost. Brenton Grove led the opening couple of laps. Really good performance, though, from Jordan Love to wrap up the Jim Richards Endurance Trophy. It was his 11th win of the season, puts him 6th on the all-time winners list in GT3 Cup Challenge, which is a particularly impressive statistic given this is his first season. So the net result is he lines up on the front row alongside Brenton Grove. Anthony Gilbertson and John Caratinos are on the second row of the grid with Sam Shahin and John Morris the third. Ross McGregor, Brendan Cook, David Grigg, who had a ripping battle for Class B, and Tony Martin rounding out the top 10. So away we go. Both of the front runners almost stalled their Porsches as they launched towards turn 1. They had to take 2 bites at the cherry to get the car off the line, but Love did it better than Grove, and as a result, he leads into turn 1. Anthony Gilbertson jumps the Grove Group car and he moves into second place. Brenton Grove to third will need to get past Gilbertson as quickly as he can to go after his young rival at the front of the field. So real hesitation for the 2 guys in the front of the grid, and it's cost one of them quite badly. He's down to third place.
Certainly did there. What a great start from the Hallmark Homes car. Anthony Gilbertson getting a really good jump away there. Sam Shahin's actually going to go with them here as well. He's got himself into P4 as they come out of turn 3 this time around, but here's the battle as we see Jordan Love in the quickest car. Grove down the inside, fires it down there on Gilbertson, left the door wide open, and he really has to get on with this job now. It's a rapid fire 12 lapper. This will be over before they know it, these guys, and Brendan Grove now really needs to find a couple of seconds a lap in this opening stanza to weigh in on a result here.
Well, as much as Anthony Gilbertson would have liked to fight for that, he's got bigger fish to fry because he's in a really close and intense battle with Sam Shahin for the elite class, the race within a race in GT3 Cup Challenge. So his focus is on car 13, that orange and black HTFU Porsche that's running 4th place. So Brenton Grove's in his own little battle with Jordan Love for the outright championship. Anthony Gilbertson's got the class win to deal with, and yesterday had a very good result for that. 3rd outright, 1st in class in the challenge race. And fortunately for his championship point of view, he had John Caratinos between himself and Sam Shahin. So it worked very, very nicely for the Hallmark Homes driver who, having spent a lot of time in Adelaide, now calls Queensland home. So this is very much home turf for him.
The interesting thing off the line was that Gilbertson, the door opened up for him and he went straight through into the middle two. Johnny Caratinos, on the other hand, was sort of hung out to dry a little bit there, and he's actually gone back one spot because Sam Shahin came charging on through off the start there as well. So we'll see Johnny start to come on song there, and he's actually got John Morris, who had a bit of an up and down race yesterday afternoon, and he's dropped himself into 6th on the road with Ross McGregor in behind him.
John didn't have a good start yesterday. He started 7th and then dropped back to 10th and worked his way forward. So it was a really good drive through the field. We're watching Brett Bolton. He's applying the pressure to the back of Brendan Cook's Class B car. Brett Bolton had the biggest getaway you've ever seen at Queensland Raceway by firing the car up the road on the opening lap. Locked the brakes, was too deep, trying to make aggressive moves on the opening lap. He fired it down at turn 3, had an enormous lose. The sole damage was a damaged rim, a ruined Pirelli tyre, and a 1-inch scar on the front corner of his car where he just grazed the wall, and that was it. He got away with one yesterday, and he knows it too, but he has the job to do, working his way from the back of the grid in the Bold Group car. But he's up to 8th place now. Good opening lap for the McElrea driver in his first full year of Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Australia. Really good battle yesterday too for Class B honours between Brendan Cook and David Gregg. I spoke to Greggy this morning and he was really enjoying that fight. Said 40 laps, it doesn't sound like a long way around a 6-turn circuit, but he said at the end of it, I was absolutely stuffed. Worked really, really hard, but a terrific battle between himself and Brendan Cook in that white and red number 11 car, who's up to P9 at the moment and has Shane Barwood behind him. So it's part of the joy of GT3 Cup Challenge, Daz. There's races in a race with multiple classes and multiple storylines.
Yeah, it certainly is, and along the way you get to drive one of the world's most finest race cars as well, don't you? The Porsche Cup cars, renowned for their strengths in that longer distance racing. But I tell you what, 12 laps around Queensland Raceway, they're going to know about it as well. This is a frantic pace that they're going to have to set right up for 2 races here today over the same sort of distance.
Interested to see what sort of pace they're doing as well, because we could be somewhere near lap record territory with this field today. It's a 1:10.99. It was set in 2015 by the great Ryan Simpson. Last time round on his 3rd fly, Jordan Love did an 11.6, so only 0.6 of a second away from that. Good early pace in really good conditions. A little bit of cloud cover today, so the track temperature not so high as it was yesterday. Ambient temperature coming up, so it's a perfect recipe for fast lap times. Fastest man on the track at the moment is Gilbertson, but he's got some pressure from behind. So this is the fight for 3rd on the road and 1st in the elite class between the Hallmark Holmes car from McElrea Racing and the Buick Motorworks prepared HTFU entry of Sam Shaheen.
I guess the interesting thing is here that on lap 3 we've seen Jordan Love go so fast, and we know that the Pirelli at lap 5 and 6 is where it starts to become the faster tyre, and it will be interesting to see what Jordan Love can do with that once he gets up to speed. 3.5 second lead now over Brenton Grove, who's got a equal 3-second lead back to Anthony Gilbertson, but it's that battle with Shaheen and Karatinos and John Morris. It's a little sort of equal distance gaps backwards to those guys, so it's about a second between each of them, but I dare say John Morris is still trying to push, trying to drag something of a result out of this weekend's racing.
This elite class battle pretty intense. It was 4 points to the advantage of Sam Shaheen coming into the weekend. It was a 10-point swing to the favour of Gilbertson yesterday, so 4-point deficit into a 6-point lead. Very, very close between the two of them, and they're very evenly matched racing car drivers in evenly matched cars, and both driving very, very well this year, ticking off personal bests at every round they do. So too Jordan Love, our race leader, pounding away and setting very quick lap times. An 11.4 last time round for the leader is the fastest lap of the race. He's got 3.7 seconds over Brenton Grove. Gilbertson running 3rd, with Shaheen behind him in 4th, having that battle. And then we go back to this fight between South Australians John Karatinos in the Richmond's Buick Motorworks Porsche, and behind them John Morris, Motorsport Leasing car, who probably passed more cars than anyone yesterday, but did it because he didn't get off the line particularly well. Today, start was good, and he's now in the mix with guys that he knows he's got the pace and the experience to race with. The man that at Sydney Motorsport Park last time out notched up a milestone in terms of round starts in GT3 Cup Challenge. Actually, we're ticking off a few stats this year, Darren. Jordan Love is now racking his way up the winning order. He's 5th on the all-time round winners list. Matt Kingsley next is 4th with 4 round wins. He's got 11 race wins to his credit as Brett Bolton goes down the inside of Ross McGregor. So that's a pass for 7th place. Bolton goes through on the Speedy Victorian, who had a really good day yesterday. 11 wins, 6 on the all-time list. If he wins both races today, he will tie 3rd on the all-time list, which is Jeff Bobbitt, Kane Rose and Richard Muscat. Some pretty heavy hitters in terms of the history of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge. They've got 13 race wins to their credit.
We'll be back after this quick break here at the Shannons Nationals.
Well, Welcome back trackside here at the round 5 of the Shannons Nationals. This is for 9th, 10th and 11th on the road. That Motec car there, Phil Morris, many years of competition. He's a national champion back in the Triple S Pulsar days as he fires it down the inside of the number 11.
Yeah, and that's a good example of the difference between the later 997 car, which is the one Phil Morris is driving, and the Generation 1 997 being driven by Brendan Cook, who's in Class B. So the Gen 1 car is a slightly different shape, but 3.6 litres compared to 3.8, down about 50 horsepower. No, Gilbertson from 3rd place has spun, and Sam Shannons in there as well. And Sam looked like he was missing the front splitter on his car.
Looked like it got torn off, didn't it, as he exited the sand trap there?
And he's got damage, Gilbertson, on his right front corner of that car. So there's been a drama down at turn 6 between the two challengers for the Elite Division in GT3 Cup Challenge.
Gee, what it's done is allowed Johnny Caratinos and John Morris through there as well. So that'll really mix things up at the top of the elite class.
So unseen by us, they were running close. There wasn't much between them in terms of track position. Let's have a look. Turn 6, braking zone. Oh, Anthony did it all on his own. So he locked the rears going in. He went quite deep, locked the rear brakes, had a half spin into the gravel. Sam had nowhere to go there. So in terms of a racing incident, no one's at fault. Anthony just a little bit too deep in the Hallmark car, locked the rear brakes, had his own moment, and poor old Sam had nowhere to go and did the damage by running into the car that all of a sudden he found parked in front of him.
Yeah, it was very difficult for Sam Shannons to not get involved in that then, and there's the net end result. A bit of panel damage. He's lost that critical front splitter off the front of the 997,
yeah,
and the flare arch there as well.
Yeah, just the wheel arch of just a plastic component that bolts onto the guard. So it's not a critical component. That front splitter we talk about that sits below the orange component, below that Pirelli sign on the front of the HTFU car, that is critical and generates a lot of front downforce and stops these cars from understeering. So Sam will be struggling for the closing stages of this race. He just needs to link that car home and get some points because he is in front of Anthony Gilbertson. So that will swing the margin back to the favour of the South Australian in car 13. Ross McGregor now chasing Anthony Gilbertson. So I think Gilbo's actually lost the front splitter on his car too. So they're probably both as compromised as each other in terms of their handling the understeer in the front of these cars.
I guess the points haul for Shannons at the moment on 34 and Gilbertson 36 is going to swings and roundabouts of what they achieved yesterday, isn't it?
They levelled it out. They were 4 points apart coming into the weekend. As Jordan Love, he's not 4 points apart from anything. He's miles in front. A big victory, the 12th of his GT3 Cup Challenge season, and Jordan Love wins in Queensland for the 2nd time this weekend. Very impressive performance and a lights to flag victory today. John Caratinos is going to be 3rd and will jump to the top in the elite standings for the round. Jordan Love is the winner. Brenton Grove in 2nd. John Caratinos a well-earned 3rd in front of John Morris and Brett Bolton, who did that from the back of the field. Sam Shannons was 6th, Anthony Gilbertson 7th, and Ross McGregor, Shane Barwood 9th, and Phil Morris rounded out the top 10.
No, it was good. You know, we went out there and really focused on the start that time, and we managed to get the jump in the start and lead into turn 1, which has just been a thing that hasn't been too regular so far this season. But yeah, no, really happy we managed to do that. And then after that, it was just head down, try and manage the gap, which we managed to do. And yeah, no, it's a nice, clean race.
I changed my start procedure to yesterday, and I had an awesome start yesterday, so I don't know why I did that. And then I dropped back, and I mean, Jordan's as quick as me, if not a little bit quicker. So I mean, once you get a bad start and you lose a bit of time, it's nearly impossible to get it back unless it's a safety car or something else. So for the rest of the race, we're just kind of driving by ourselves.
We're looking forward to the final race in the penultimate round of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Australia, presented by Pirelli. It's Love and Grove on the front row. On the second row is John Caratinos, who inherited a 3rd place on the grid in race 2, but drove very, very well with good pace to get that. John Morris 4th, Brett Bolton 5th, having charged from the back of the field. Sam Shannons goes from 6th. Then Anthony Gilbertson, Ross McGregor, Shane Barwood, and Phil Morris will round out the top 10. Will it be a whole lot of love for Jordan, or will Brenton get one on his young rival and help even the ledger a little bit going into the final round? Ready for a start. 12 laps is the distance. We're away. It's a good start for Brenton Grove. Gripped up side of the racetrack, works at Queensland Raceway. Now it's an arm wrestle into turn 1. Good start from Karatinos in behind. Gilbertson sweeps across in front of his teammate and shuts the door there on Brett Bolton and goes through, and then gets one on John Morris as well into turn 2.
As does Bolton, gets through on Morris as well.
But it's a good start for Love. Grove right behind, then Karatinos, then Sam Shahin with that repaired front bumper bar.
Gilbertson onto the back of him there as well as they plunge down into turn 3 for the first time. Out in front, it's all clean. It's going to get a bit messy mixed up here. Sam Shahin goes through with the undercoat bumper on the front there, and the field absolutely bobbles up all behind them there. What has happened, though, is that John Morris has been shuffled back about 3 spots in the opening couple of corners.
Yeah, all pretty frisky stuff for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th behind them. So Sam Shahin now through to P3. He knows how important this fight is with Anthony Gilbertson in the battle for the elite division, and he'd love very much for his teammate John Karatinos to be in between the two of them, as he was in race 1 on Saturday. Tony Martin's had a spin, so the Triffid car pointing in the wrong direction. He's over at turn 4. We'll live to fight another day. No safety car. Race is on, leaders clearing out, the fight is on for 3rd place as we watch Sam Shahin and John Karatinos.
Certainly is. The battle's going to rage here for the elite cars. But our race leader, Jordan Love, has already got himself just under a 2nd lead over Brenton Grove. The gap back now, quite a gap back, nearly 2 seconds to Sam Shahin. And charging down to turn 3. Now Gilbertson up the inside of Karatinos. It's a long plunge for the Hallmark Homes driver. He's going to pull it off, as Karatinos in the number 16 will get relegated 1 spot as they exit 3.
Yeah, but like the homes they build, that was a nicely constructed move. It started back at turn 2 and was telegraphed all the way down into the braking zone at turn 3. Nicely done. Gilbertson gets himself to 4th place in front of John Karatinos.
Someone's kicking him from 50 metres out today, Richard.
Thank you very much. And as we go back and have a look at this move. So that started before the replay kicked off because it was all a good run through turn 2. You get that good corner exit out of that fast corner and then slice down the inside. I spoke to both Anthony Gilbertson and Sam Shahin between races. Both of them lost that little rubber splitter beneath the front bumper bar on these cars, and both were telling me how undrivable the cars are through turn 2 with that missing. It just creates understeer, and you can wind all the lock in the world on it. The car doesn't want to go around the corner. Sam Shahin was a little bit concerned because that incident down at turn 6 destroyed their left front tyre. So they've rotated their tyre from yesterday's race that did all the work on the left front corner of car 13 onto the right front. So they've got their best possible tyre on. A little bit further back, here's a good little battle pack. It's being led by Shane Barwood. It's got Phil Morris in the midst of it there in the Motec car. He's up the inside of Shane Barwood, who is actually just past the Speedy Victorian.
These cars garage next to each other away from the racetrack.
And down the inside goes Phil. That's a nice move. So similar to what we saw from Anthony Gilbertson a couple of laps ago. Sliced down the inside and Phil just gave him 1 car width. Behind them is David Gregg, and in front of his Class B rival, Brendan Cook. So that'll be critical for the Class B round victory. Good chat to Greggy before this race, a former Victorian rally competitor, quite competitively in 2-wheel drive and then 4-wheel drive cars. Decided that rallying wasn't his thing at the end there and decided to move across to circuit racing and started in his Porsche at the end of last season. But he's been mates with the Morris boys, especially Phil, for 30 years. So he was brought into the Porsche family by Phil Morris, and he's partnered up with those guys to go motor racing and really enjoying it, really enjoying the battle he's been having with Brendan Cook all weekend long. So here's Brett Bolton. His team were telling me how impressed they were with some of the moves he was pulling off in race 2 earlier today. A few little moments where they thought he might have come from a little bit too far back, but he made them all stick. Very nice driving from the back of the field for Brett Bolton. He's still in his first season of Porsche GT3 Cup racing, but it's going to go well anywhere. It'll be here. Personal best lap by about 0.6 of a second in qualifying. He'd never gone quicker at Queensland Raceway. And given that this is their test track, that's a big tick in the box. When you throw new tyres at the car, you're under pressure. You've got 20 minutes to deliver a lap time. And he did the job, so the team were really impressed with that.
Well, John Morris understeer on the exit and oversteer on the 6 there, and then as you can do in a Porsche, apply the right pedal and you get a bit of oversteer there. exiting as well. So John getting a handful. Half race distance. And we're back to the race leaders. Jordan Love hasn't managed to get too far away from Brenton Grove at this point in time.
Check this out, big move, big exit out of turn 2. We know how good Anthony Gilbertson is under brakes into 3. Might not need to worry about that because he's already alongside. There's a little bit of contact with Sam Shahin. So the 2 leaders in the elite class bump wheels going into the right-hander. Fortunately, Sam didn't have any steering lock on there because if he did, it might have broken the steering on the number 13 car. This is a really aggressive battle, and Shahin will now send it to the outside for turn 4 and look for a switchback through that fast left-hander at 5 and maybe a move down at 6. So this fight has now come alive. It's 3rd and 4th on the road, but there's more to it to that because it's for the class win, and they're basically locked together in points, not just for the weekend, but for the championship overall going into the final round.
Come onto the front straight this time. Shahin lost the spot over at 3. He'd like to get it back, but with those wheels coming together like that, that could have ended up in tears for both of them as they bobbled together over those bumps down into turn 3. They were in unison with each other.
Well, I think Karatinos would have been happy if they both carted themselves off the road. Here's a look. So 235 km/h approach to a heavy stop for a second gear corner, and they're wheel to wheel. So it's almost like Gilbertson was moving left and Shahin right, so they almost converged on each other, and a little bit of a bump, but neither of them had steering lock on, so no damage to either car, which is lucky, because otherwise it would have caused a fairly large off at a fairly large rate of knots down there at turn 3.
Yeah, the biggest threshold braking corner here at QR down there. It's a big stop. I tell you what, the party will continue at the round 6 of the Shannons Nationals at Phillip Island for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge, presented by Pirelli, the final round, and it's going to go down to the wire, particularly in the elite class. These two on screen as we speak are going to take the battle right up. It might be the series party on the Saturday night, but it's going to go right down to the end of the final race of the season for those two to see how it plays out for the elite class.
They're on their final lap at Queensland Raceway. These two have not given up. So out of the final corner, John Karatinos will get on the podium in the elite class. P2 in points. So a really productive weekend for the South Aussie. He missed the last round at Sydney Motorsport Park, but always a fast runner in GT3 Cup. And this fight continues. He's under pressure from Brett Bolton, who's looking to leap himself up into P5 at the end of this. Jordan Love has got but a few corners to go. He's heading down into turn 6. Darren Aerosmith once sung a song about love in an elevator, and this elevator's only going up. It's win number 10 in a row for Jordan Love. An impressive performance, another clean sweep, and a built larger championship lead there for the young West Aussie, who continues to thrive in one-make Porsche racing. Terrific performance, and Gilbertson beats Shahin across the line for 3rd place. So Jordan Love wins race 3 and the round for Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Pirelli. Brenton Grove in 2nd, Anthony Gilbertson 3rd, then Sam Shahin and John Karatinos P5, Brett Bolton, John Morris, Ross McGregor, Rob Woods in 9th, and Phil Morris completed the top 10.
The winner of the round here at Queensland Raceway, Jordan Love. Congratulations, a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, great. No, can't complain really. It's been a wicked weekend. You know, even starting off at practice, it was great. The car felt really good. Felt really like in a rhythm, and yeah, no, it's been good all weekend. Yeah, no, it's wicked. You know, it's been wicked last couple of rounds. The first 2 or 3 rounds we made a few mistakes which cost us a little bit, and ever since then it's sort of been, you know, try and minimise those mistakes, which we've managed to do, and yeah, it's paid off.
Well, there's no stopping Jordan Love as he inches even closer to championship glory. The Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Australia presented by Pirelli. The last round of their series will also be the penultimate round of the Shannons Nationals, the epic Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit on September 8 to 10. We hope you can join us for that one, but for now, thanks for joining us here at Queensland Raceway. We'll catch you next time for more Shannons Nationals.
Coming up after the break, we head north to Mackay in the Whitsundays as the High Tech Oils Australian Offshore Superboat Championship kicks off for 2017.